Hi guys, and welcome to this week's video. It's a little bit late. There is a reason for that, because this week's video is going to be in two parts. So basically, as the title of the video suggests, last week didn't start off great. I have stuff to show you from last week's car boot, but no, it wasn't particularly brilliant. So I tried to make up to find a few bits to show you during the week for my planned Friday video, but things happened. So I thought, with me being off work for a week, we'll do part one tonight, and I'll put part two up tomorrow night. So hopefully you'll watch both parts. But anyway, let me introduce you to myself. I'm Roger. This is Roger's Gaming Pickups. And like I said, as from the title, the car boot wasn't great. But we're going to start off with a little bit of Evercade. Evercade have just released their new game of the month. And it's a Galeco game. And they previously released it on the collection, the Galeco Arcade Collection 1. And it's got 6 other arcade games on there. And what I'm going to do is just, while I've got you here, I'm going to switch this bad boy on. It's coming on now. Run you through the setup, and then I'll just leave it on the screen in the background while I talk through the rest of the video. So, we've got the screen. Let's turn on the beast. This is the Evercade VS. You hold the button down for 2 seconds. You get your lights. I don't know if you can see that. I don't think you can see that on there. But you get your lights. Blaze comes up. And hopefully it will load for us. The Evercade VS. Brilliant little machine. Most of you now, if you're new and just got an Evercade, you've probably got a VSR or EXPR. Very similar setups. So you've just got, I've got my cartridges in, you can see games on there. But basically you've just got your Evercade. You want to get your game of the month. You plug your controller in. I've got a wireless switch controller, which I'll show you working. Go to your settings. Go to system with the little red dot on, and it will give you a list of things to do. You can map your controllers, you can reset controller settings, you can force the patch cartridge, which I'm not going to do. You can enable analog support for third-party controllers, but this one works fine. Or you can install your update. So what we're going to do is we're going to press A to install our update. It says, would you like to update now? So press A for yes. Well, it's probably B on mine because the switch button's the other way around. If it doesn't work, it should put you back to the start screen just to go through it again. So we will just press A. Press A. Download and update. Now it shouldn't take too long. It's 428.22 megabytes, which, let's face it, these days isn't very much. So, what can you expect from Alligator Hunt? Well, it's a shooting game. You start off as a young lad on like a hoverboard, I do believe it is. And I think I'm sure you start on a hoverboard and you shoot all the aliens coming into your space station, space dwelling, whatever it is. And as the level progresses, you leave it and you go out and you do shooting missions. It's not a very long-lived game. You'll have it done in an hour or so. But it is good fun, and it's well worth playing if you haven't played it before. So, like I said, we'll put it on, we'll show you it downloaded and working, and then we'll start talking about my car boot from last week. Now, what I will say is the weather wasn't too great last week. We had a lot of rain, not a lot of sunshine. but it did stop. But I think that probably put a lot of people off because the car boots weren't huge. But you know, you'd still expect to go out and find something, wouldn't you? Well, oh yeah, while you're here, I'm starting up a Facebook page for my channel. You can't see the screen, sorry. You can't see the screen, but I'm starting up a Facebook page, Roger's Gaming Pickups, where I will post shorts, my videos, perhaps games that I'm going to let go that you might be interested in. You can give me a shout over on that. Thank yous to people and all that sort of thing. So if you'd like to just, if you see it there, you know, follow it, like it, just like you do on my channel, like and follow me, and I'll try and make it so you can see my content there, because I do post a lot to my friends' timelines, a couple of the groups I'm using, and I don't want to upset anybody who might think, oh, he keeps posting this, but I'm trying to show you something different, trying to show Evercade and what I pick up, because I just love my gaming. I've been a gaming collector for nigh on 40 years, a little bit of time off here and there, but I've always loved my gaming consoles. I've still got my Atari 2600, which I'm very nostalgic for. Very nostalgic for PlayStation 1, 2, Dreamcast, although I haven't got one anymore. And what else? What else do I have? I used to have Game Gear. I haven't got one of those anymore. So that Amstrad CPC 464, nice green and white monitor. Bet some of you remember them in the old days. Oh look! I'll stop baffling now. Like and support. Thank you to everybody who subscribed last week. You're all brilliant. Thank you to everybody who came back last week and continue to come back to watch my content. Thank you. I would really love to hear your comments. Oh, here we go. We've got the reset going. Show you the game in action. And it'll play while I'm chatting to you about pickups and what happened last week. Here we go. Writing, booting, routing, booting, writing, booting, writing. Okay, yes. So, this shouldn't take too long. So while we're waiting, we'll have a quick swig of pop. Pop the controller down there for a second. Cheers to you all on this hot weekend. Case of 12 of these at Farm Foods, $2.99. It's alright. Right for $2.99. Actually, know how much the service station's really making, isn't it? But anyway, check in. Ekin. O to Ekin. What's that? That's all beyond me, but basically it's putting it on there. Does the reset back to Blaze Entertainment, like you've just seen. I'm sorry it's taking so long, it will get there. Here we go. So you've updated your Evercade, you put it back on, got a couple of cartridges in. You want to play your game of the month? We go to, not that one, come to this side, we go to VS, let's click that, I think it's VS. There you go, and it says June 2025 Alligator Hunt. And until you available until you download the next highlight of the month. So if you want to keep it for a while, you can keep it for a while, but you only get these for a month. So without further ado, you press your A button. It says Alligator Hunt, third-person shooter for up to 2 players, released in 1994. Alligator Hunt is a crosshair shooter for 1 or 2 players simultaneously. Reptilian aliens are invading the planet. Only one fearing for it. Only one thing for it. Time to, excuse me, time to hop on the skateboard and blast them away, then shoot off into space and take the fight to them. Make good of your guns and missiles to defeat your enemies and be quick. Come down a little bit. Here's all your controls. Go across the stats, tells you how long you played. It was obviously say 9 because it's the end of the month for me. Go to play, where it will say loading. But what I'll do, like I said, is I will leave it at this point when it starts up. We'll reduce the volume. The volume's quite good actually on this. Galco. Is it that how you do it? Galco? Galco? Just turn it down a notch. Oh, that's the wrong button. Wait, that to go. That's not good, is it? Made in Spain in 1994. I don't know how we get rid of that. Like that. I let the start scene play off and it should show us some game. I don't know why it does that. Maybe it's something I'm pressing on here. Just turn it down a little bit. So, you've got your alligator hunt. Like I said, you want to buy it, you want to play it properly for yourself. Gaming Arcade 1. There it is again. For my Evercade fans. And anybody who likes Evercade and is interested in it, there's now over 50 carts. Still good price. I don't care what people say. There has been inflation over the years, but we're talking 5 years since Evercade started. So I really don't know what you expect. Obviously I don't like price hike either, but it's still a cheap way to play retro games on a physical cartridge. What you get to keep for yourself, and the cartridges have a nice manual. So, Gaming 1. Pop that there like that for now. You get to watch that. I get to talk. So, let's just teeter this way a little bit. There we go. Anyway, the car boot last week. So, I wasn't thinking much of the weather on the Friday, but I thought they're still saying it's on. And we'll still go. So, we went the Saturday morning. We got up, whatever time it was, to be there on the Saturday morning for 6:30 because it starts at 6 and I like to get there about half an hour later to give the people a chance to set up. And let's just say it was a bit of a washout. There was literally about 8 tables there. Hardly any video games. There was a few, but the people wanted too much. It just wasn't worth the value. The only way it would have been worth the value is if you've never played before and you only just got that console. But you're talking budget titles you can buy at CEX for £1 were like £4. No, couldn't do it. So the Saturday I came home with zilch. Absolute pants. Got home. A couple hours later, starts raining again. I thought, oh Jesus, not again. But looking on Facebook, because it gives me updates on the car boots and if they're on or not. And the guy said, well, it gives a lovely morning for tomorrow. So, we are going to still do it. So I thought, all right then, I'll still go. I'll have a look. So Sunday morning come, I got up early, was there for 5:30, and it wasn't very big. There wasn't a lot there. But we'll show you what we got, and then you can make your mind up if it was good or not. And then I'll tell you what happened after that. So, the pickups. Not really too gaming related, but I picked up from a seller 4 Star Trek books for £1. Says 50p each on them, but it was £1. We bought the Next Generation Dominion War Book 3, Star Trek Voyager, the Nanotech War, And I bought 2 copies of this, Star Trek Voyager, The Further Shore. Because I thought, you know, there might be somebody out there who needs a copy of that, and you will not pick that up for 25p off anybody. But the thing is that I wanted to read this book, and there's a part 1 to this book. So we'll come back to this story shortly, but we'll show you what else we picked up from the car boot first. So still doing my rounds, walking around, seeing what was there. Bit of Xbox 360 fodder, filler, junk if you want it. It was junk to me, I didn't need it. Few bits and bobs, nothing really special, nothing really gaming related. There might have been earlier, but I didn't see it, and you know, so I was walking the last bit. I sometimes don't do the size of the aisles, but I thought I would. I come up to a lady, and she had a couple of PS4 games, and I said, "What do you want for them then?" And she said, "I only want £1 each." I was like, "Oh yeah." I said, I looked and I thought, I don't know. So I said to her, "Will you take 150 from both?" And she said, "Yeah, I just want rid of them." So what we picked up was Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare for £1.50. Our solitary gaming pickups from last weekend, because we're still in this weekend now. So from last weekend. So, like I said, the car boots were literally a bit of a washout. Weren't great. While we're on car boots, I'd like to give a special shout out, and if you can have a look out for him on YouTube, for Stevie T Films. He's a brilliant chap. Got chatting to him last few weeks. Give me a few YouTube pointers, and said he likes the channel. And you know, give him a like, give him a follow. But anyway, pick those 2 up. Got home for our lovely 2 PS4 games to add into my collection. Went to look at the collection, and guess what? Yes, I had them. So, not £1.50 wasted, because I think 2 not bad games. Not sure what I'm going to do with them. But, yeah, that is the Legacy version. It says Modern Warfare and Infinite Warfare. Black Ops 4. Anybody need them? Anybody want to do a trade for them? Just let me know in the comments. I will probably put them up on the Facebook page when I get it going, but you'll see that soon enough. So anyway, we come home from the car boots. We're looking at the books, and we're thinking, well, we've got part 2 of that book, which I want to read, and part 1 I knew from past experience of looking for this book, because although I'm not an avid Star Trek fan anymore, I still like to read the paperbacks from time to time. So we come back, we looked through eBay, Amazon, and a couple other sites just over Google, and on Amazon, because I've got Amazon Prime, I could get it for free shipping for £6.91, the first part of the book. And this is it. Star Trek Voyager Homecoming. This takes place when Voyager gets home, basically after the last episode of season 7. This will tell you what happened to the crew, what's happening, how people on Earth are reacting to him, etc., etc. I'm not going to tell you much more than that, but I will say that, is it Kirsten Bayer? Oh, Christy Golden. She's wrote this, and it's like, you can imagine watching an episode up here. It's actually a really good book. I do recommend it if you can get it for that price I got it for. So that's the Star Trek episode over with for this week. Let's carry on with what we're going on about them. So we come back we got to Monday now, and I'm thinking, what am I going to show you? So I thought, well, there's not much in the shops around here today. What can I do? And like yourselves, I'm a game collector, like a bargain. So I went onto Amazon again, thinking, well, I've just got an Xbox One. Is there anything on that, or PS4 that I could find? And I found, well, I found this on Xbox One. Now, Among Us is not really my sort of game, but it's got a lovely hologram dead in the middle. I've seen exactly the same on PS4 and CEX a couple of weeks ago, but I did not want to pay £12 for it. This on Amazon was £3.35 with free shipping, but it's now gone to £7.91. So, if you want a copy of that, I'd keep an eye on Amazon because they might drop it again soon. I've also heard it's free on the Xbox subscription, but I like the cover. I wanted something for my display, so I picked it up. Right, and then the week's getting on. I've been talking to Gaming Grandad about games and saying, oh no, there's not been much around and things. But I did see a game last week at Cash Converters in Scunthorpe that I liked. That was £12 as well. And he said, well, it's blah 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 here. I said, yeah, I've seen that. I said, I'm not sure. But I did see it. So I thought I need something to show my viewers. So let's do an unboxing, what I believe it is. So I got this, come through the post from eBay, 2 days postage. Guy messaged me, say it's on the way to you. So it's in good condition. So it's kind of an eBay lottery. I believe it's off eBay anyway. We'll open it up. We'll look. I can tell you now. It's hard to get into. No, but it's for the original Xbox. We don't need that. We don't need gubbins, do we? Thanks for your order. Buy your games from CEX. Hey? Well, maybe it's from CEX somewhere on eBay. And I bought, because I really like the look of it, I bought X-Men Next Dimension because it looks like a Streets of Rage type beat 'em up. Manual's in quite nice nick. Disc is absolutely spotless. You can see that. It's lovely. I really like this game, that Cash Converters. I just couldn't go to that price. So I got it £6.91 posted. Well, between £6.50 and £6.91. Look at that. Brilliant. So I've got a game. But still, I was thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to show you? Roger's Gaming Pickups with no pickups. How does that work? Well, we'll talk more on that later, because I'm thinking to put some gameplay footage on here and show you a few things. I've been promising my good friend Derek that I'd show him the Pac-Man and the Double Dragon, which will be coming up very soon. And you might like a review, like I've practically reviewed this alligator hunt for you. You might like a review of something, or my first impressions. Let me know in the comments. And yeah. Anyway, so now we're getting through the week. We've got literally 4 games, if that. 4 games, yeah, and some Star Trek books. So we get to Friday, and I thought to myself, this won't do. I can't put a video up with nothing on it. Let's do the Grimsby rounds and see what we can find. So, I'm not sure where I went to first. Yes, I am. I'm sure where I went to first. I've just had a little inspiration. So, we went So Grimsby's favourite CEX, the one and only CEX in town. But what did we pick up? So, being one for the weird and the wonderful, something strange, something obscure added into my collection, I brought Extreme Express, where you race trains. It's in good condition, manual and disc. £1. Then also liking the London Racer series, because you saw the PlayStation 1 I picked up the other week. If not, you can go back and watch it. It's on my videos. I brought this for £2. London Racer World Channel. Now, I'm not sure on the graphics, but it was in nice condition, and I do believe it's complete again. So quite pleased with that one. Another racing game. You know I like racing games by now. Then the next one, being a fan of fighting games, I went and looked at the Xbox 360 games and saw this, and I thought, oh, we don't have that one. By now, I've also, because I didn't find many games last week, I've been updating my list, talking to Gaming Grandad about doing it, telling him that I'm going to write it all down, and he did suggest something for me. But I said, no, I'll write it all down. By writing it down, it keeps it fresh in my mind as well of what I got. So I looked at my list, I didn't have this one. Xbox 360 Soul Calibur 5. Now, it's in lovely condition. It really is. That manual is absolutely superb, and I know the disc is nice. So very pleased with that. And then I was looking at a couple of games. I went to the counter, and he said they're a little bit scratched. I said, no, I can't take them like that. I can't pay that sort of money. It's about a tenner, but I couldn't pay it. So I made up my next decision, and I picked this up for the PlayStation 4, being like a Streets of Rage fan like I am, or Final Fight or anything like that. And I've not played it yet, but I picked up for £8 the Karate Kid on PS4. I like the series, I like Cobra Kai, I'm looking forward to watching Legends. I'm sure I'll like that. And then the last one from CEX, you might have just seen that with me swinging it, was an Essential game. Now, I thought I had this on the PS3 normal version because I was going to take it in and trade it in. But I didn't, so I'm glad I picked it up. And I paid £6, but I picked up the Mega Drive selection. Complete with receipt and lovely red disc. Absolutely fantastic. So not only did I get a couple of good games there, I got an Essential to put with my Essential in my Essential tower, which I will show you. Not today, I will show you it in part 2, because like I said, this is going to be a 2-part video. So, after CEX, we took a trip out. Come back home the long way, went to that new shop with the really good prices. I think it's Cromwell Road, it's called. It's down. Instant Cash, where the lads are brilliant, help you out, try and do what they can for you, sell good condition games at good prices. And I picked these up. So first of all, on the Nintendo Wii, I picked up Need for Speed Undercover for £1.50. Nice with manual. £1.50. Another racing game. Are you getting sort of a hint? I like racing games. And then for £2, another racing game on PlayStation 1. Racing Simulation Monaco Grand Prix. Anybody who knows about me liking Formula 1 games knows that I used to love playing the Monaco Grand Prix circuit on the very first Formula 1 for the PS1. Now that tickled my fancy, and I thought at £2, and it's in quite nice nick. Manual's in. I'm not going to open it because PlayStation 1 games are a bugger when you open them. Nice nick, game's in good nick. £2, PlayStation 1 game added to my collection. But was that enough? No, that's not enough. So for another £2 on PS4, I brought Evolve. Sounds like a hunting sort of game. You don't get manuals of these, so I'll just show you that. Evolve. And last but not least, from Instant Cash, we bought Resident Evil, I think it's 7, Biohazard. Resident Evil 7. I know Village is out now, but £5, that's a bargain. And I do like a horror game. But were we done? No, we weren't done yet. So, being Friday, 4:45, we jumped off in the car, went to my cash converters near my house, just as an off chance, and we picked up a couple of games from there, and we were chatting there for a while. So what did we pick up? Let's start off with Rayman Legends. Love to pick a Wii U game up. I know I haven't got this one. Complete with manual. Fantastic pickup in my eyes. £5. Yeah, I think it's worth £5. You don't see Wii U games, and you're lucky if CEX has got more than 20 in them. They're usually just the common Marios now, and even they've dropped in price. So quite happy with that. And then for £2, I picked up The Evil Within. So another sort of survival horror sort of game. Think I'll enjoy that one as well. Don't know too much about it, but we'll find out. And then I think rounding up the last of the pickups for this week, so I don't think there's anything else for this video, because there will be another video tomorrow. I picked this up for PS4. It is called 8 to Glory, and you ride bulls in it. Now, an obscure game. Wow, this really took my fancy. I wasn't going home about it. It's in there. I think it's only one disc. Really, really pleased with that one. I know I'm going to have a good go trying to thrash that. And so, yeah. What started off as a wet, horrible car boot with nothing to show for my video ended up with a plethora of games and showing you Alligator Hunt, of course. But is that it? Why is there a part 2, you ask? Well, let's rewind back a little bit to Instant Cash. When I was in there, I saw something in the cabinet, just been payday, and I put a deposit down. And I'm sorry to end the story on this point, but if you want to find out, come back tomorrow, round about the same time-ish, between like now and 9 o'clock. It should be on YouTube, and we'll do the second part of the story, because it's I'm calling this from anguish to amazing, so you find out the amazing bit tomorrow. Like to give a shout out to Tony Tech Pal, Gaming Grandad, for all his advice and help and keeping me chirpy during the week. Let me get this right. Andy and his Video Game Madness, great channel, always something different. I think he's been showing what you can do with mobile phones, old mobile phones, on his channel this week. Go and check him out. I'd like to shout out Stevie T Films, my mate from the car boot. Always makes time for me. Always apologises when he doesn't need to, and he knows that, but he's such a fantastic chap. I really do recommend you go and watch him. He's got a lot more subs than me, but he'd be glad of a few more subs, and so would I, but you know. Anybody else to shout out? Now, we'll shout out Holster. Apparently she streams games from my hometown. So, Holster, if you ever watch it, I'm giving you a shout out anyway. Crazy Burger, where you can find reviews for this, for your Evercade carts, all your products, and everything on his channel, because he is fantastic. and to blaze themselves. And last but not least, and I don't know his Twitter account, but he is worth following because he's got a massive following there. Knows his games, fantastic guy. That's my really good friend Derek. Thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe. Enjoy your gaming. Enjoy my gaming. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me what you don't want to see. And I'll see you for part 2. Bye bye.